No experience, no outside investment. These two behind me are bringing in $18,000 a month from selling pretzels. The best part is they started with a recipe from the internet.
Started in our home kitchen, straight down Google pretzel recipes.
They found their first recipe online.
We were going with the food truck still before we even perfected it.
And built their own hotbox trailer.
I built out the trailer. So we sold around 400 pretzels in one day. Translate to around like $6,000, $7,000.
First month, 8,000?
Yeah.
I mean, must have been the right kind of events.
That was really when we felt like the concept was proven.
Let's give this a shot, you guys. Look at that. Queso, baby, here we go. Now that is the best pretzel I've ever tried. Blake, Roman, it's absolutely a pleasure to meet you guys. Give our audience a quick look into who you are, what your business is, and when you got started.
So we are Box Pretzels. We specialize in making giant handmade fresh pretzels that are top to order.
Yeah, and then we then take those pretzels and serve them out of a food truck.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, we started about 7 months ago.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
we're pretty new still, yeah.
Well, let's go check out the kitchen.
Yeah.
All right, guys, where are we?
We're at Jack's Kitchens. This is our commissary. This is where we make all of our pretzels. We come here on a daily basis pretty much, making the pretzels here to bring with us to go to events all over Jacksonville.
What do you rent the space for?
So we pay around, it varies, we pay around 15 to 20 bucks an hourly rate. We pay anywhere from 700 to 1,000 a month. Once we hit 50 hours here, they don't charge us anymore.
That's nothing,
so it's
dude.
pretty cheap. Yeah, it's a good rate. We pay a little extra. We pay $40 for a freezer space, and then we have our own little shelving area that we can keep all of our ingredients in. That's about $40 extra per month too.
Gotcha.
And that's all included in that 1,000. So that 1,000 is everything we use, and that's if we're using this place more than 50 hours a month.
All right, guys, why pretzels? Out of all the things you could have figured out recipes for, baked, you chose pretzels. So help us understand why.
Yeah, so basically where we were working, we were selling the pretzels. We would deliver them to the tables. People loved them. It was just smiles on everyone's faces. Phones would come out, pictures of the pretzels. The family loved them. People who were drinking on the golf course, drinking beer all day, loved them. So we were just like, yeah, let's bring this to events. We did some research. There were no pretzel trucks in the area.
Okay.
We saw a little
Makes
gap
sense.
in the market. We were like, there's a lot of food trucks in Jacksonville. There's, I would say, how many, like 200-300 food trucks here in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
so
that's a big
we have a lot
market.
of competition, but we found no pretzel food trucks. So we were like, let's go for it.
Just made sense?
Yeah.
What restaurant did you guys then work at?
So it's a golf course
Okay.
down there. They made handmade pretzels there.
And you guys were part of the handmade?
So no, we weren't part of it. We were just
Gotcha.
running food, bussing tables, and so we would be running these pretzels all the time. And when we were dropping off the tables, people loved them. People would come there specifically for the pretzel there. So we were like, yeah, people love pretzels.
When you have those brewskis, something salty sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll walk you guys through the process of building everything out here, because ultimately what goes into the food truck and the trailer? A prepped, ready to go, to be baked pretzel, or it's already baked?
The pretzel's already baked, so we have it essentially ready to go. We flash freeze them, so when you take them out, you let it thaw, cook it in the oven for about 30 seconds, and then all of our pretzels we do topping to order.
Gotcha. So the toppings
Toppings are on
in-
there, yeah.
On the go. Everything
Yeah.
else happens here.
Everything
Pretty
else
cool.
is in here.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense that you would spend so much time here, because that's 80% of your
Yeah.
work.
Exactly.
The rest is exchanging it into the customer's hand.
Yep.
Right.
All right, guys, where are we going next?
We're going to Abyss Park. That is where we had our first event.
Sweet.
Right when we got our license, it was first trial run of Box Pretzels.
Let's hop in and go. Tell us why we're here.
When we first got started, we got our license and we were itching to get going, and we live a few blocks away from here, so not too far. And they have a baseball league that goes on here on the weekends, on Sundays, and so we reached out and asked if we could come do an event here, and our first event was here.
First ever?
Yep.
Who did you call to get permission, or do you need permission to just show up?
It was mainly just
Courtesy?
coordinating it with like the manager of the baseball league.
Gotcha.
There's not like a specific permit for the parker.
Yeah, we have like our license for all of Jacksonville, so
Yeah.
we're
Nice.
allowed to like go to just pretty much set up wherever
Yeah.
under the city.
So your neighbor had a barbecue truck. How did that evolve into a mentorship, and what was the biggest valuable lesson you learned from that relationship and continuing to?
So he kind of just helped us get started. He gave us a lot of the valuable contacts to get into these bigger events and stuff like that. That was our biggest fear going into it, kind of thing, was how do we book events, how do we get in contact with the right people, and he kind of assured us that it's easy, like just get as many emails as possible, send emails to everyone, pictures, menu, all that kind of stuff, and he just kind of guided us along the way and is still helping us out today.
What was it? Break it down for. Was it an email? Was it just a number?
So it's there's some Facebook group chats by some people who have contacts with all these neighborhoods and different events, and they'll post the events. And then once you get accepted into these private group chats, you're in like a community with other food trucks, and you kind of like bid, or like they'll post it, and you kind of just got to be the first one and say, "Yep, we're available. We'll be there," and then they'll contact you like privately and get you on that job. And he gave us a lot of those contacts to get into those group chats.
Did you know that 81% of regular viewers like you haven't yet subscribed? Crazy, right? Here's the deal. When you subscribe, we grow. When we grow, we're able to bring more valuable guests to the channel. So let's do this. Subscribe, and we will continue to push to bring great guests on our channel. Deal? Okay, guys, where are we, and why is this significant to your story here?
So we're at the University of North Florida. This is where we met in the dorms. We lived here for about a year, and this is where we kind of started the business. So we actually lived right in that room, right up there. Yeah, for a full year.
So a year ago, you guys, you had no idea on how to make pretzels, no recipe expertise, anything like that. Walk us through the process of developing the pretzel recipe. Where did you get the details, the resources, and really everything in general?
So it started with Google, straight down Google. Pretzel recipes, going down, testing them out, tried one, tried another, kind of mixed all the ingredients together, kind of played with some stuff. Started in our home kitchen, just making it. We didn't have the best oven there, so it couldn't get the perfect texture we were looking for. So we tested, got a good recipe that tastes good, but our oven just couldn't fulfill what we needed. So then the next step was to find a kitchen.
Interesting.
So we found the kitchen with the correct ovens we needed, kept perfecting that recipe, and now we got it down.
So it's the texture, and then the oven makes a difference. I didn't know that.
Huge difference.
That is important for pretzels.
Huge difference, yeah. Our oven at home can't get hot enough.
Blake, I mean, the texture that Romans talk about, is it just the texture that you guys wanted to perfect, or like you knew what you were going for, or was it exploration in a sense?
So we knew we wanted to do something a little bit different than like ordinary pretzels, because most pretzels you get, they're gonna have the leathery almost texture on the top, and they're gonna be chewy. We wanted to do something where we still had the top that had that leather type texture, but we wanted it to be different, like almost crispier on the bottom, but softer in the middle, instead of more chewy. So that was kind of what we were going for, and just kind of played around until we got that.
That's cool. And when you did perfect the recipe, how long did it take, by the way? By the time you got to like, wow, I think this is it?
It was a while. Probably, we were going with the food truck still before we even perfected it. Probably for the first like 2 to 3 months, I would think. I mean, they were still good, but now we're at that next level where they're perfect now.
I noticed you have a really professional website. How important is that online presence for your business?
So it's been really important for us. The fact that we can have a QR code on our trailer that people can scan and it'll bring them straight to our website. We get questions all the time. How can we book you guys? How can we find you guys? I go, just go scan that QR code right there. It'll bring you straight to our website. We have pictures of everything. We have our menus. We have our catering menu. We have a form on there where people can fill it out, and they'll actually fill out that form, and it will send them straight to our email. So we can call them immediately, get them booked for whatever event they need.
How much did it cost you to get the website set up?
So it was a super fair price. I think it was I only pay around $3 a month. So it's an awesome price. The startup cost is about $15 to start, and then it's only $3 a month. Yeah,
I've heard of other designs of thousands of dollars, hiring a designer, etc. But you're talking $3 and $15.
$3 a month. Yeah. So it was super low. It doesn't really cost us anything, and it.
Do you have any experience in building websites, anything like that?
No experience. They have like an AI builder on their website that makes it super easy. I put in like all our fonts that I wanted to use, all our colors, all our images and everything, and then it pretty much just designed the website. I added like a couple extra tabs and stuff like that. We sell like our hats and shirts on our website as well.
Merch,
so we have some merch on there, and I just customize it a little bit, but the AI builder is a huge perk on their Hostinger's website. And then fun fact, I also, my mom has her own business and she's not too big on online presence, so I recommended her to Hostinger. She got on there with the AI builder as well, and was able to build her own website.
Well, you're getting ahead of me a little bit, because speaking about online presence, I think this is a perfect time to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Hostinger, a one-stop shop solution for taking your business online. We're talking a free domain, free SSL, and even a free email account. Speed, blazing fast. Security, they've got you covered with enterprise-level web application firewall, DDoS, and even a malware scanner, all in one package. Now get this, they've even thought about us busy entrepreneurs like me and you with their one-click AI website builder. Now imagine that, one click, no coding, and you have a website. So if you're sitting on a business idea or want to scale, don't sleep on this. They're giving all the UpFlip viewers a killer deal. So head over to hostinger.com/UpFlip and take advantage now. We recommend the business plan. Choose how long you want hosting for, enter the coupon code UpFlip, and submit. After that, you get a chance to work on your website using their AI technology, choose your free domain, and you're all set to go. All right, guys, let's talk about what is the most difficult thing about getting started.
The most difficult thing was just we didn't have anything to follow off of. We were going blindly. There was no pretzel trucks to follow. We were pretty much just figure it out as we go, testing the equipment, seeing what works. The fact that we can make them here and we can actually flash freeze them and in there. We've done taste tests side by side of them straight out of the oven versus frozen out of our oven, and it's so similar, like there's barely any differences.
All right. Break down the startup cost for us. If you spent $10K, how is it allocated across all the necessary equipment?
So we started with about $10,000.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was actually right on the nail right there. 10,000. First 5,000 went to the trailer. We bought one that was semi-built out already, not fully equipped. They started a food truck before, didn't fully finish building it. So I bought that. We got it wrapped. The wrap was about, I want to say $1,500 for the wrap.
All right.
I built out the trailer. I installed all the sinks, the plumbing, the electrical, and did all that. Finishing from what they did before, that was around $1,000, $2,000. And then we had to get shirts, branding, hats, that kind of stuff, around $1,000, maybe a little less on that. And then just pans for the kitchen,
Right.
just
Kitchen
all
stuff.
the kitchen equipment. Then other than that, we kind of just moved slowly. We kind of figured out what we would need. We got the equipment for in the trailer. We got like a hot box, where's what we got the name from.
Yep.
We got the queso warmer, and that was really it to start. And then we kind of just moved our way up. So we were just buying equipment, testing it. We did spend a lot of money on stuff we don't even use anymore.
Really? Just get rid
ended
of
up
it, or
selling it on like Facebook Marketplace or stuff like that. Now we have it down pat. Now we have all the correct equipment, and we have both of those equipment in the van and our trailer.
All right, so we are heading to the 904 Pop-Up Festival next, right?
Yes.
All right, guys, let's go and show you what's going on there and really try to taste the pretzels as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Boom. So we are at the 904 Food Festival,
sir.
right?
Yep.
This is one of the events you participated, what, yearly, or is this the first
It's
time?
monthly.
What does it cost for you to be part of this event?
So this one's about $300 for this location right here on the boardwalk. It's a fair price.
Gotcha.
Fair price, yeah.
Yeah, so let's dive into what you said earlier on, and that is you made some money or saved up some money to get this started with side hustles. What were they?
So I had a couple side hustles. For probably about a year, I was doing pressure washing. And then once it got a little colder, the pressure washing kind of slowed down, and I got into hanging Christmas lights. And then I did some remodeling, kitchens, bathrooms, stuff like that. That's pretty much it. And then I had the job at the country club. So at some point I was working three jobs at one time.
So there is no excuse for anyone watching right now, right? Not to get started in anything, even with 10,000 that you saved up, because you hustled.
Yeah.
Walk me through the revenue growth, month 1 to say month 6, an example. Was it like 1,000 the first month, 6 later? Help us understand the evolution of the revenue growth.
So I believe when we started the first month, I think the total came out to be around 8,000.
Not bad.
And then second month, it jumped up to 12. Third month.
First month, 8,000?
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been the right kind of events we're talking about.
Yeah, so during the springtime, there's a lot of music festivals because of the weather and stuff. So we kind of started out in a hot point of the year, and luckily we just hit the ground running.
That's awesome.
And then just continued to build from there, and our third month was probably our best month for sure.
Where do you hope to be by the end of 23?
The end of
Highest,
23, best month, I would love to hit the 25 mark. That would be awesome. I feel like 22 is maybe a little bit more realistic, exactly, but 25 is the goal, you know?
So we've asked our audience, and we do all the time, like what questions they want us to ask. We do polls, and more than 50% have said that the fear of failure is the obstacle to starting any kind of business. And you guys have clearly gotten through that somehow. So what is your advice to our young viewers and all viewers on how to overcome that?
I would say my advice is probably just to go for it. I mean, you only have one life. You never know how it's going to turn out. We had no idea how our pretzel food truck was going to turn out when we started. We knew nothing about it, and we just kind of went for it, started it, and now we're here a year later, still doing events, and it's going good.
Just do it.
There's no telling what's going to happen unless you do it, you know?
Yeah.
If you just think about it for all the time, there's nothing's going to come from it unless you actually get involved.
Guys, is fear of failure holding you back? We've got some incredible step-by-step blueprints led by world-class entrepreneurs on how to start and scale any business. So head over to UpFlip.com to gain access now. When did the idea of starting this business come about, and then the difference between that moment and the first sale? Just curious.
So we probably had the idea first in June of 2022, and then our first sale was in February of 2023. So definitely a good little space in between the two.
Give us an understanding of why the space. Is it just obviously starting the business, the planning process? Can you break down the timeline for us?
Right, so planning definitely takes a lot from it. Getting the food truck and getting it set up and ready to go takes a while. And then the licensing with the state and permitting, that also took about 5 to 6 months itself.
Really? That long?
Yeah.
And so when it comes to pretzels, I'm curious, what's important in terms of the equipment to have the perfect result?
So the ovens play a big part, big mixer, so we can make big batches, but most importantly, these ovens right here.
Why? What's important?
So
to
they're
them?
a convection oven, so they have a fan in the back that actually rotates all that heat around, and they go to 500 degrees. Yeah.
You're cooking them at 500?
Yeah, 500 degrees, about 4 to 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and we rotate them in the oven when they're cooking so they can all cook.
And you're saying if it
evenly.
wasn't a convection, it wouldn't be the same result?
Yeah, just because the heat doesn't travel around in the oven, it's more of a dead space kind of heat, where this fan keeps the heat evenly
Everything gets cooked.
evenly distributed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If I didn't do convection, what would the pretzel look like then if I take it out?
More flat, and it just doesn't rise as much.
Gotcha.
And with that heat of how hot it is, just that initial 500 degrees makes it cook so fast that it'll rise super fast.
Dude, that's awesome. The whole science to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's simple, but
Yeah.
whole science to it. Blitz time with Roman. Thank you guys for submitting your questions. First one is, if you could serve a celebrity, who would it be?
Danny Duncan.
What flavor do you think you'd recommend to him?
I do the pizza.
Pizza, awesome.
one, yeah.
What's the most unusual topping request you've ever received?
We've had Nutella drizzle with jalapenos on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
Did that ever happen?
Yeah, we made it happen for them, and they liked it. Yeah.
Dude, that's sweet. What's the most pretzels you've ever made in a single day?
500 in one day.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the most unexpected skill you've learned from running a food truck?
Just being fast with orders.
Sounds good, dude. What's your favorite way to unwind after a busy week? I know the answer.
Surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Best part of being an entrepreneur?
You can kind of make your own schedule. So if we have something on a weekend where we need to take care of, go on a quick surf trip or something, we can call off the events.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, if there was a movie about your lives, what would the title of the movie be?
WAF Adventures.
Nice, dude. Do you remember the first day that you guys sold out? And if you did, what did that make you feel like? What was going through your mind?
So our first time selling out, we were outside of a nightclub one night doing late night pretzels for just drunk
Partiers.
people. Exactly. So we were doing that and we sold out, and we were just so stoked when we did, because it was one of our first times with the trucks out, and that was really when we felt like the concept was proven, and we felt like we had something here.
How many pretzels was it when you sold out, you think?
Around 100, I think.
Yeah, around 100.
Yeah, around 100, and that was only our second event, so
Yeah.
that was
was right in the
awesome for us,
beginning.
Yeah.
So you have 2 units now. You've got the trailer that you started with. You've got the minivan. At which point did you upgrade? Did you get the second unit?
I'd say it was about 4th or 5th month, like right transitioning from the 4th into the 5th. We had just done a big music festival down in Jack's Beach, and we kind of realized we needed something bigger to do those more upscale things where you serve in about 2,000 people, 3,000 people in a weekend.
So the kitchen just wasn't able to sustain the trailer one.
Yeah, the trailer it was just too small. We didn't have enough room in there to store all the pretzels. And then so we got the van, and he built that one out himself again. And then we just used that from there.
What
And
did the van cost, Blake?
it cost us $18,000 to get the van, and then $4,000 for the wrap, and then to build it out, I would say.
What do you think?
Around 2,000-3,000 for all the equipment and everything.
25K
inside.
basically.
Yeah.
How did you guys finance that then?
The wrap and everything, we had enough money for everything. It was only the van. We had some of our family members help us out, and we're just paying them back.
Gotcha. So family loan essentially.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Not a bank or anything.
No, we tried, but we weren't a year in business yet.
Yeah.
So it was hard for us to get any type of loan or anything.
Gotcha.
like
And what did that do to your business as far as two units now? What are you able to do that you weren't before?
So we're able to do 2 events at the same time. So say we have one large movie night and a food truck Friday, same day. We're able to do them both at the same time, and we're able to just basically make what we would, just double what we would usually make in one night.
Blake, what do you think sets you and Roman apart from most 20-year-olds? You can have a little ego trip here. It's fine.
I just say we're motivated. You know, we're very self-motivated. We like doing our own thing, and we like having our own business, and we just want to grow it, and we want to get it big. We're willing to put the time in. You know, we're not out late at nights. You know, we're working on the computers at night, making pretzels during the day. You name it. So
You guys
I
are
think
the
that's
real
it.
deal entrepreneurs. Let's switch gears to the mentor who helped you get going initially in the business. I'm sure that you've learned a lot from him, but what other resources did you utilize to learn the skills, knowledge, and just anything necessary to get this going?
So online, anything online, just as much research as possible. Reddit has been a huge help.
Really?
People are
How so?
so willing to help on Reddit. I'll make a post of something I don't know about, post it up. Just people from all over the country are so willing to help. It really blew my mind how much help I got on there.
That's pretty cool.
People just commenting paragraphs and paragraphs of helpful articles to refer me to. So Reddit was definitely a big one, and then the UpFlip videos. I've been watching for years.
I know, we didn't tell him to say that. This is just a fact, right?
Yeah, I've been watching the videos for years. Some of the other food truck ones definitely got some good advice. Advice on those.
How much do you guys charge for events? So you do private catering. So give us an understanding of the charges, how that works, and the structure.
So it's more of like a per pretzel basis, depending on the size of the event, how many people. We do catering, such as we do little bites. We can do trays of bites for, like, we've done Super Bowl parties, we've done graduation parties, stuff like that. We'll do like a tray of our salted bites, a tray of our cinnamon bites, or we'll do weddings. We've done a couple weddings. We'll do pretzel sticks, so we don't have our big W-shaped pretzels. We'll kind of make it into sticks so we can cater to a lot more people. So we'll have like 150 people come at one time. We'll have them pre-pick what kind of flavored pretzels they want, so they can choose like 3 or 4 different flavors with a dip, and we'll charge per stick and a dip per person. And we charge around $4 for a pretzel stick and a pretzel dip.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's pretty easy math.
Yeah. So when we're doing our caterings, we don't have a set in place, kind of like travel fee or this kind of fee or that kind of fee yet, just because we've been only doing this for 7 months now. So we haven't done a super abundance amount of catering, really. Eventually, we'll definitely have like our set rules of this price, this price. We just want to get people happy, just so we can get people stoked about our brand and get eyes on us and do as many caterings as possible.
Makes sense. Guys, what is the best seller and why do you think so?
Obviously, the salted with queso can't go wrong.
Just
People
simple.
love it.
Yeah, simple.
You know, everyone that's thinking pretzel, they're thinking a good old salted pretzel.
If you couldn't live without one, Blake, would that be the one?
Personally, it'd be the pizza one.
The pizza one.
Yeah,
Oh, I
the
can't wait
pizza
to try
one's
that
good
one.
because we do it fresh toppings. We put marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni on top of the pretzel, and then bake it, and then Parmesan cheese to top it off. It's really good.
Can't wait to try it because I've never in my life tried a pretzel pizza, essentially.
Yeah, today's the day.
I'm with you on that. Let's do it. What are some do's and don'ts for when it comes to customer service as a food truck business?
So I'd say definitely some do's are be quick. People are coming up to the food truck. We want to be as quick as possible while still delivering quality product. We have some beepers that we'll give out with the orders, just so people can walk away a little bit and it'll beep them when it's ready. We were calling names. It was a little hard at first. I would definitely say that's one of the don'ts, is don't try to be shouting names and everything. It gets crazy, especially when you have like 20 orders that are coming up. So the beepers definitely helped us out a lot.
Okay.
On the customer service side, I try to just make everyone feel happy at home.
How do you do that specifically? Give me an example.
So like Yeah, offer them like a free dip or something. If someone's being like super cool with us and they're super interested in our business, we have some free stickers, and I'll give as many stickers out as possible. People love the stickers. Everyone gets super excited when they get a free sticker.
Is it about like this or what?
Yeah, it's this logo, or it's actually the logo on the back of our shirt. Just like our full hot box pretzel that has our website on there. Good for advertising too.
Yeah, branding.
People stick them everywhere. I've seen cars, water bottles, stuff like that. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you two are the only full-time employees for Hot Box Pretzels, right? You're still in school, Blake. Why not hire full-time employees?
So for the most part, we can kind of handle everything that we get thrown across our way. So like these events, like me and him can do it by ourselves, or we'll have one other person work the register. We just haven't had a need for the full-time employees yet. But with the start of the second trailer, if we can get more double events going, that's when we'll start looking to hire more full-time employees.
Here in
I
this
think
area,
it's also a little just because we're Friday, Saturday, Sundays is where we do most of our
that's the only
events.
time?
We do a
Gotcha.
couple weekday events, but we just haven't had the most success with the weekdays. So we're trying to just more focus on
weekends.
being ready for the weekends and full capacity and ready to go on the weekends. So that's where it gets a little difficult of trying to hire a full time. We just don't have the hours to give someone a full time role yet. But hopefully in the next coming months we will.
So do you have some kind of plan for digital marketing, or are you just kind of developing that still? Where are you at?
So we definitely have a relatively low budget for the ads right now. We still do some here and there. We like to do giveaways instead of paying for the advertisement. So giveaways, just yesterday actually, we did a giveaway for 2 Jags tickets. So
Nice.
that's actually got a lot of eyes on it. Had around almost 200 comments on the post.
The game from today?
Yep, from
Nice.
today. Yeah,
So
that's
they're-
going on
they're-
right now.
They're hurraying right now.
Yeah, so the winner, he's having a good time right now for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, so we do things like that don't necessarily cost us much, but it gets our name out there, it gets people tagged in our posts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What are you spending, if anything, right now on social media?
I'd say we'd probably spend around 25 to anywhere from 25 to 40 every 2 weeks on ads. So only a couple
not
posts
bad.
every 2
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
All right.
Nothing crazy.
I'm sure that'll grow.
Yeah, of course.
All right, if you could go back and do it all over again, what would you do differently? And what's your number one advice to those looking to start a food truck business as well?
I'd probably go back and focus a little bit more on marketing. Your name is everything. So the more you get your
Absolutely.
name out there to people's ears and people's faces, the more they're going to recognize you and recognize your brand. And that's what it's all about. And that's when people start reaching out to you instead of you reaching out to people to get events. Because once people start reaching out to you to do the events, then it all becomes easier because it takes away time from going online and searching for all these different events. So
Making the calls, emails.
yeah,
Is
exactly.
that what
So
you were doing?
marketing helps out a lot with that, with just getting your name out there in front of the people that matter.
But marketing costs money. I mean, If I
Exactly.
don't have a lot of it, what's my alternative?
You can do Facebook ads and Instagram ads for relatively
for
cheap.
low cost.
Yeah.
You can promote them for about $5 to $10 per post.
Not bad.
Which gets you in front of about like 2,000 to 3,000 accounts. Which it makes a big difference to do that. If you're just doing $5 a post, it's not going to be anything crazy if you're doing a couple posts a week.
Yep.
Nothing too crazy.
What we've done as well is we've had nights where we've been outside of bars or anything, something like that. We'll have buddies go inside and pass out flyers inside or like coupons inside to get people to come out and try the pretzels when they're leaving.
What was the best day so far in the last 12 months in terms of pretzel amount sold, and what does that transition to revenue?
So it was actually super recently. It was last weekend.
No way.
Yeah, so we did a music festival down at the beaches. It was a super big event. They had around, I want to say like maybe 30,000 people there.
Whoa.
So it was just being in the right place, being at the right event, getting that many people around us. People are drinking there. People love pretzels for sure. So
how
we were
many?
pretty busy. So we sold around 400 pretzels in one day. Translate to around like $7,000. We also did fresh squeezed lemonade.
Gotcha.
So we got some souvenir cups with our logos printed on it, and we were selling those lemonades and the pretzels as well.
So the lemonade's part of the 7,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you selling lemonades for?
The lemonades were $10. It was a big 32 ounce stadium cup with our logo printed on it. So we sold around, I want to say around 150 cups of lemonade and then around 400 pretzels.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. How much did that event cost you guys?
It cost us $1,200 to be there.
Oh,
So it was
alright.
a little pricey for sure. All these big events are going to either take a percentage of your sales or they're going to take that upfront cost.
How do you think being a successful entrepreneur has changed your the person you are, whether it's an attitude, confidence, anything you want to highlight?
I'd say I definitely gained confidence from it. I think I gained more security in myself, knowing I can do all these different things and keep a business on track, obviously with the help of Roman and everything, but it was mainly just the confidence boost to like, hey, you can do this, like you're doing it well, you're succeeding, you know. It feels good, and it makes you carry yourself better each day, you know. And
do you think you'll finish the degree, Blake? Because what if this blows up? I mean, it will at some point. You guys are taking all the right steps.
You're close.
I'm close. I got 8 classes left,
Okay,
so I'm gonna make
wrap
it. You know,
up.
I'm this far. Gotta
Good.
finish it out.
Yep, matter of principle.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you source ingredients? Help us understand the process.
So we get most of our ingredients from Restaurant Depot. Since
It's like
we're
a one-stop shop?
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop. They have mass amounts of everything there. We're pretty simple. The pretzels don't take too many ingredients.
How many?
It's about 5 ingredients.
Wow.
Not including, well, 4 that we have to buy because it's water. Water is one of the ingredients. So it's really simple. It's more in our process of how we make the pretzels than the ingredients. We buy the best ingredients from Restaurant Depot. We use vegan butter. So all our pretzels are vegan. When we started, we weren't. We had a lot of requests.
Really?
We tested some recipes. We just changed the butter that we were using, and it didn't make a difference at all. We had people test them out and couldn't tell the difference between the butter. Yeah, the butter just kind of gives the dough a little bit more texture, makes it a little more stretchy, a little more fluff, and we didn't really notice the difference at all with the butter. So we get vegan butter from there, and then we do some of our ingredients online through Amazon, some of the more
Really?
specialized stuff. The actual like lye that we use to give the pretzels their browning color, they don't sell it at Restaurant Depot, so we have to specially order that from Amazon.
All right, so tips, advice to others watching that have sourcing questions, like what would you say? Just stay local in certain things?
Local, and then there's like some bigger websites. Webstaurant is a good one. They have tons of stuff on there. Amazon, I mean, they have like 1-day shipping in most places
Can't
for
beat that.
Amazon. Yeah, you can't really beat it. So like if we realize we're running low on something, pretty much everything's accessible on Amazon now. So we'll order it. It'll be there the next day, ready for us to go make some pretzels.
What about your guilty pleasures? You guys are making decent money for 21-year-olds early in a business, but what's your guilty pleasure? What do you go to on a day off?
Both of us are surfing.
That doesn't cost a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, but we'll have to go check the waves. Sometimes we'll have to make pretzels, but let's go surf for 2 hours before, try to sneak in a surf session here and
That's
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could do that, you know, close a house and go surfing, but
Yeah.
I'm in the Pacific Northwest. The
cold up
waves
there.
are a foot maybe on a good day. So for those watching you guys right now and they find themselves in a very similar situation, they're in a market where they have nothing to go off of, they're breaking the ice essentially, what would you do different and recommend to them with what you know now?
So the first thing I would say is if you're doing something completely new that not a lot of other people have done, you need to basically have a proof of concept before. So take whatever idea you're doing try it on a small scale, and if it works, it works, and then you kind of
Scale
take it from there, scale up, and then that's when you start deciding, okay, I need this to make the pretzel better, or whatever product you're using.
I would say if you are going to start, I would give yourself a good 3 to 4 month buffer before you're even ready to sell. Just because those licenses and getting all that in place, like our license took about 3 months before we were even ready to get inspected. So if you are looking to take this journey, I would definitely recommend have something in place to get you through those 3 to 4 months before you're ready to actually start selling on the food truck.
So you're working on this unique oven specifically tailored for pretzels, right? You have no engineering background.
No engineering, no.
How are you doing it? Give us the secrets if you may.
So I've kind of just used a couple like mock-up websites to kind of get some simple renderings and stuff like that, and I ordered all like the parts and stuff to kind of build it myself. I'm gonna get it built up, make a prototype, and then get that prototype, bring it to a couple of like bowling alleys, concession stands, and just kind of run them through how it works and everything, and see how much interest we get from that. And then if the interest is good from that, I've been doing some research on getting like manufacturing over in China and some of those other countries to where maybe I can get like 10 to 15 of these ovens manufactured with our logos, with everything connected, just a plug and play, ready to go.
Why is what you're working on important potentially?
So our pretzels, we do them fresh. Most pretzels are sitting in a warmer for 30, 40 minutes before you eat them at these concession
already
stands.
cooked, but sitting in a warmer.
Already cooked, but sitting in a warmer, and you're not getting them when they're fresh. What I've designed is an oven that will be able to heat these pretzels within 30 seconds. So we'll have the thawed out already good to go pretzels. You'll be able to take these pretzels, throw them in the oven. It'll heat up in about 30 seconds. In the bottom drawer, it'll have melted butter and queso.
Whoa.
So you'll be able to do a fresh butter on there, a brush of butter. Yeah. It'll have everything on the sides. It'll have plates, paper. It'll have the cups. So it'll be a one-stop shop. Everything's right there, ready to go.
Basically, you in the van, but
on
in
a
a
countertop.
miniature on the
Yeah,
countertop.
on a countertop.
Wow,
You'll be
that's
able
really
to
cool.
brush it with the butter, shake the salt on, get your own cup of queso, and then these places can just serve it out just like that, straight out of the oven, fresh.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. I remember you mentioned watching one of our episodes and learning a lot. Which one was it? What did you learn specifically from
It was the Hen House food truck.
from
So
Tennessee.
a big thing I realized, or I heard in their episode, is they said don't do everything you can, and we were doing that at the start. We were doing everything we could. We were out almost 7 days a week for a couple months there, and we were just getting burnt out. It was too much. We realized that instead of going to all these places making a couple $100 here and there, we really wanted to try to focus on the bigger music festivals and bigger events on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and give us that time during the week to reset. And
Dude, you know what's interesting is I think people watch, they hear the advice from those that have traveled that path. Did you feel like there was a struggle between like, no, I know better, I'm gonna do what I think is better? Or did you just kind of surrender, trust, and like, you know what?
I really trusted them. They seemed like they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It seemed like they have a really successful food truck going, and they've been doing it for longer than us.
Yep.
And we were kind of, I actually watched that episode at almost like a perfect time of right where we were kind of talking about that. Like, should we really be doing this 7 days a week? Should we kind of pull it back a little bit and really focus on the bigger stuff on the weekends?
Nice. You guys, the episode he's talking about, we'll make sure the link is in the description below, so make sure to check it out. You guys, it's been absolutely my pleasure.
Thank
It's been really fun. I wish you well and much success. We'll come back and
you.
check in on you in like 2 years.
All right, sounds good.
Great. Well, that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to know more about the food truck industry, check out episode 26 with Jen, the owner of Boss Mama's Kitchen, which made it to the food truck of the year in a matter of 2 years. Take a second to like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.